In this video, I'm going to be upgrading my interior lights to go from this to this. Today I'm going to be doing the visor delete on the Miata. The Miata, which is a pretty small car and has a pretty small windshield, has these sun visors which are completely useless because you're already kind of looking out the top of the windshield anyway. So with sun visors, you're just not looking at anything. It's more like a road visor. You can't see the road. So a lot of people remove them, and because I'm also a bit tall, there's no my visibility is already right at the top of the windshield. And in fact, the sun visors, even when they're closed, are actually blocking my visibility. And sometimes to see stoplights, I have to move it out of the way and kind of look a little under it. So I bought a kit which will not only delete it, but also wire in some more LEDs, and that it also includes a brighter LED for the middle. So instead of having one dull yellowish light in the middle, I'm going to have 3 bright white LEDs and no visors to get in the way. So I'm going to do that now. So I dove right into this. I don't have any instructions. The kit didn't come with any, and I didn't really bother looking for anything online because it seems pretty self-explanatory. All I'm doing is removing the center bulb, replacing it with the new LED one, unscrewing both sun visors, and then screwing in the 2 replacement lights in their place in the same screw holes, and just connecting it all up with some connectors. So how hard could it be? But before I got started, I've made a fascinating discovery. It turns out my car has a dimmable rear view mirror. I can't believe I didn't know this for the 3 months that I've been driving this at night and dealing with all the bright headlights from people behind me. Because this car is so low, my eye level is directly at the headlights. If you've driven a Miata at night, you know what I'm talking about. It sucks. And I've been driving it without the dimming on. So now I know. So anyways, after that life-changing discovery, I got started on the install by unscrewing the sun visors. And it really wasn't helping that I was doing this install in 40-degree weather, but I was so excited to get the new lights in it, and it seemed like such an easy job that I just turned on the heater once in a while and worked on it. And then before I put anything in, I've learned from my old mistakes. I double-checked that everything actually fits in place and that these screws would work. So after fiddling with that light cover for a bit, I was able to finally pull it off, and it was kind of interesting to see the difference between the stock smoky one and then the clear one that came with this pack. So I imagine that'll make a pretty big difference in the brightness. And I really wasn't sure what I was doing. It just looked like it was plug and play, like this LED board just plugged into the connectors where the old bulb went. So I pulled out the old bulb and just stuck the new one in. Oh my god. Wow. It was a pretty incredible upgrade. Wow. Oh, that's so much better. Oh my gosh. And here you can see how much that stock smoked cover actually dimmed the light. So I was pretty happy I got the clear one with the new kit. So that was pretty easy. It really was just plug and play. So I was feeling pretty confident that I can get the other 2 lights in and be done with this install within a few minutes, right? No. It never works like that, does it? So I originally was not sure how the visor LED's wire would connect to the center LED. It seemed like it should go through the body of the car, but I wasn't confident they actually connect. So I unscrewed the main assembly for that center light, and sure enough, there was a passage right there. So I guess that's the way to do it. So the cable was supposed to run through here. I don't know how I'm gonna get it to actually go, but how does that work? So that does make sense. That seems like the most obvious way to cleanly wire this up. The problem that I was facing was it seemed like it was gonna be difficult to snake the wire through the body. I mean, this is I think like a foot and a half distance, and have it reach the other side without just bundling up and not actually going all the way, because the wire is just a soft wire. So I wasn't really sure how to go about that. So As I expected, it's a complete pain to get the wire to snake through the roof of the car to get to the middle to connect to power. So I'm gonna see if I can create a contraption to help push it through. So the best idea I had was to get some stiffer jumper wire from my Arduino kit and see if I could use that to like reinforce the wire somehow, and that way when I push it, it doesn't just like bundle up, but it actually goes straight through. So I gave it a shot. I coiled it around the soft wire to see if that would give it the support it needed. But it didn't seem to work. It felt like the wire was still bending up inside, so I pulled the whole thing out, straightened it out a bit more, and gave it another shot. And guess what? Oh my god, I did it!
It actually worked.
Oh my god. Yeah. I didn't actually think this would work.
I mean, this was a pretty funny solution, and that too was the first solution I tried. I really thought it would take like 3 different approaches until I got something to work. But yeah, so with that done, I moved on to the other side and tried the same technique.
Alright, so I'm taking this the stiffer wire, wrapping it around the end of the wire that I want to push through, and then to add some stiffness as I push it through, I'm wrapping it around this wire, wrapping it around the light wire a little. So what it'll do is it'll essentially stiffen up this whole cable, the light wire, the wire for the light, kind of as if it's like a stiffer stick or a rod, and that'll let me actually push it through instead of having it bend and not go through. So you can kind of see, like, it's standing up pretty much in a, if you can see this, it's standing up kind of in a straight line on its own. That's the goal, so I can just push it to that middle.
This was such a goofy idea. I really felt like this couldn't work the second time.
Oh my god!
And sure enough.
Yeah, so if anyone else struggling with this, get a little bit of like wire. I got this out of my Arduino kit. It's just like some pretty thin jumper cable essentially. And also don't coil it too much because then it'll be hard to pull off here.
Okay, so that was a funny challenge, but I should be done now, right? I mean, I have both the cables there with those connector ends visible, and I just have to plug it into the board, and should be done, right? No. The housing for that center bulb had some metal shielding on the back, so those wires could not actually reach the connectors, and that too squeeze all back into the body of the car. So this is when it gets a little janky. I had to take a pair of wire cutters and cut out a little hole in that metal so that I can actually snake the wires through to reach the connector on the board where they're supposed to sit.
I don't feel good about this, but I cut off a bunch of metal in the back.
And then finally, when I thought I was done, I lost one of the screws to attach the housing back into the car.
That was a screw.
And then finally,
yay!
the install was done.
Nice. This is almost too bright. Oh my god.
So then I spent another 15 minutes finally finding that screw, putting the housing fully back in, and then finally,
I think I'm done.
Officially done with the install.
Wow.
Only took me like a whole hour and a half.
This is so much light. That looks crazy on camera. Oh my god. Oh man. This is crazy. You can actually see in here. Wow. All right. This is quite nice. And not only is it bright, it looks brighter on camera than it does here. Or it looks more dramatic on camera than it does here. It just looks really nice and bright here, but on camera it just looks like I just turned on like a football stadium light. But it is actually quite nice how bright it is. Someone's going to be annoyed one day. Someone's going to get in my car at night and it's going to automatically turn on. They're just going to be like, this is too much. Why did you do this? and I won't really have a good answer, but I mean, I'll be happy, so who cares about my passengers? I mean, that's why I got a really tiny 2-door car with no real trunk. For me to have fun, it's not for them to have fun. So, yeah, cool. Don't need these anymore.
It really is pretty nice how well lit the cabin of the car is now, even though it may be a little bit overkill.
Dude, this is awesome!
But check out how well lit it is. I can actually see everything in the car at night, which was not the case at all with the old dim yellow one. So, one more install done.
Open it, get in.
Oh, so bright.
And then close it.
Okay, maybe it is a tad overkill, but I still love it either way.
Ow, I just looked into it.